Good morning, everyone. Let me start the class. Okay? Okay, fine. See, at the beginning of this class, I've already mentioned that we are going to discuss four types of machine. Machine 1, machine 2, machine 3, then machine 4. And then correspondingly grammar 1, grammar 2, grammar 3, grammar 4. Corresponding language 1, language 2, language 3, and language 4. The first machine which we have discussed is known as finite automata. Second machine which we have discussed is known as push-down automata. And what I did, I skipped the third machine and then I have jumped into the fourth machine, which is known as Turing machine. So correspondingly, the names we have already seen. So today's class, right, what we're going to talk is, we are going to talk about this third machine. We're going to talk about this third machine. So regarding this third machine, right, the name of this third machine is known as linear bound automata. Linear bound automata. In another term, right, we can consider this machine as a modified version of Turing machine. That's why instead of explaining this particular machine first, I've explained the Turing machine first, and then I'm moving back to this third machine, which is known as linear bound automata. So regarding this linear bound automata, right, in the case of Turing machine, what we have seen, generally the input tape of the Turing machine, right, they are not bounded both sides, but for our convenient purpose, what we did, we have considered that it is bounded in the left hand side, and then the right hand side is not bounded. That was our assumption for convenience purpose. But normally, generally, when we know when somebody talk about Turing machine, right? Turing machine, the input tape, right? The left side and right side, they are not bounded. So they are infinite in length. But for convenient purpose, in order to design, in order to solve a problem, we were assuming that the input tape of a Turing machine is bounded in the left-hand side of that one. Okay. Now, regarding this linear bound automata, right? Regarding this linear bound automata, it is bounded at the left-hand side. It is bounded at the left-hand side. It is bounded at the left-hand side. Okay. In the case of Turing machine, it's not bounded in the left-hand side and right-hand side, but for convenient purpose, we assume that the left-hand side of the Turing machine is bounded. Now, the definition of this linear bound automata, right? It's bounded in the left-hand side. Okay, that's the limit So in another term, in certain books, right, you can find that the linear bound automata is nothing but it's the what modified version of Turing machine. And then when we try to design or solve certain language to accept using this linear bound automata and all, you can find two symbols. These symbols are differed depending on different textbook. You can find $1 and $2 symbol. What are these symbol means? This is known as left marker. This is known as right marker. Okay, we'll explain regarding this later on. I'm going to upload the assignment today itself. I don't have time for typing the assignment, so I'm going to write. I'll be uploading the handwritten one. Okay, and then from Monday onwards, there's going to be a series of tests. Instead of conducting exactly 4 number of tests, I might conduct 6 number of tests. Out of those 6, right, I might consider a best 4 or some best 4 or best 5 like that. Okay. If I'm not going to do that, I don't know how many of you are going to fail in my paper. Okay, so study well. So these are the marker. And then in certain textbook, right, instead of finding $1 and $2, they might have used B1, B2. It depends. Okay, so in your exam, if you're going to use this $1 and $2, just please specify that they are special marker, which are left marker and right marker. What is the purpose of this one means? If I want to insert certain input in here, suppose $1, then $2. This is AB. So beyond this $2, right? Nothing is exists here. Beyond this $1, nothing exists. That's the meaning of this two symbol. Okay. And then so regarding the mathematical definition of this linear bound automata, what I'm going to do is in the mathematical definition of the Turing machine, you need to insert this two extra symbol. That's it. Okay. I'm not going to draw the block diagram and all explaining this. No, I'm not going to do that one. I just want to wind up the syllabus. That's why I'm mentioning it. Now again, next one which is more likely. I just want to mention is that the grammar, the language which is to be accepted by this machine is known as context sensitive language. The language which is to be accepted by this language is known as context sensitive language. Context sensitive language. And the corresponding grammar is context sensitive grammar. Context sensitive grammar. Context sensitive grammar. Now, let me explain you what kind of production rules is being considered as belonging to this context sensitive grammar. When we talk about grammar, right, we already knew the NTPS. This is the general definition of a grammar. N represents non-terminal set of non-terminals. T represents the set of terminals. P represents the production. S represents the, this is S. Okay, by mistake, I have written that's something like that. This is S. This is the general definition, general mathematical definition of grammar. So what type of production rules is being considered as context sensitive grammar? So let me explain that one. Alpha to be able to derive to beta. This is production rules of this type. Alpha, it's a combination of terminals and non-terminals. Again, beta is a combination of terminals and non-terminals. And then the context-sensitive grammar, right? They are nothing but the length of alpha should be less than or equal to length of beta. That's it. Okay. So let me show you an example. Let me show you an example for this. Let me give you an example for this. Let me write a grammar. And then with that particular example, let me explain what is this. Okay. Okay. Now this is one context sensitive grammar. So how am I saying that this is context sensitive grammar is? See here, all this side, all this left hand side of this production rules, right? They are nothing but alpha. And then the right hand side of this production rules are nothing but beta. As per the definition of the context free grammar, the length of alpha should be less than or equal to length of beta. So we need to check whether the given grammar is context sensitive grammar or not. How to check that one means, see, the length of this one is 1. The length of this one is 2. The length of this one is 2. The length of this one is 2, including both terminal and non-terminal. This is also 2. This is 2. This is 3. This is 2. This is 4. This is 2. This is 3. This is 4. Now, alpha should have the length which is less than or equal to beta. Now, this alpha length 1 is less than, both the beta. Okay, so this satisfies the condition. Now, again, this one, 2 is equal to this 2. Again, this also satisfies the condition. As per this definition, right, the length of this alpha should be less than or equal to beta, length of beta. This is 2 less than 4. 2 is equal to 2. 2 equal to 2, then less than 3. Okay. So the context sensitive grammar, right? The left hand side of the production rules can have both terminal and non terminal. And then on the right hand side of the production rules, you can have both the terminal and non terminal. But the condition is the length of alpha should be less than or equal to beta. That's it. Okay, this is the introduction about linear bound automata and context sensitive grammar. And then after this, I just want to talk something about types of grammar and all, some hierarchy, some certain names are there which needs to be considered. It's a request to everyone. This paper is included for regarding your GET exam. So I haven't covered all the syllabus, okay? I have covered 80% of your syllabus. So my request to you all is whatever I have covered, right? Please try to understand that one first. And then when it comes to GET exam, right, you please brush up those basic and then extend the remaining part. Okay. This is very important paper. But many of you, when I check your papers and all, I'm finding that you are just attending the class just for name's sake, okay? So don't do that. You guys are maximum of you are doing that. So I don't know how to reach you guys. Like who are not doing well in the exams, you know. So let me. I'm going to wind up the syllabus by today itself. So let me introduce few more terms that needs to be included. That needs to be read at least once. See, all the grammars which we have already discussed, all the grammar means there are out of 40, for all the four machines, we have seen four kind of languages. For all the four kinds of languages, you have seen four kind of grammar, okay? There's a term which is known as Chomsky norm hierarchy. Chomsky norm hierarchy. Okay. As per this hierarchy, right? As per this hierarchy, these grammars are being classified. So please read those ones. That's it. Now it's my request to you all. I'm ending the class here. This is it. I don't want to extend further syllabus to you guys. From my side, whoever, I don't know how many of you are interested to understand this paper, because while correcting the midterm papers, right, it's very worst side for me. I didn't expect, okay? So my request is whatever I have covered, whatever I have mentioned in your class, please go through once very thoroughly. And then if you have any doubts, you can call me, or if I didn't answer right, just drop me a message. But few of you are unnecessarily disturbing me. I don't know. You might be thinking that politely, you might be thinking that you're talking to me, but we are not finding those manners in you guys. Okay, I'm talking about few students. So I'm winding up the syllabus here. This is the end. And then I'll be uploading the assignment by 12:30 today itself. And then those assignments, right, you submit it after, in the first week of May, not right now. And then start studying from Pushdown Automata itself onwards, because your test series belongs, your test series, right, I'm going to ask from Pushdown Automata, Turing Machine, then Linear Bound Automata. These three machines I'm going to ask. When I say all these three machine means all the languages also included, all the three types of grammars also included. Okay. And then regular expression also included. From Monday onwards, I'm going to start the series of tests. And then assignment you can submit in the first week of May, not right now. Okay, just prepare for yourself. So thank you. All the best, you all. I don't know.
Ma'am,
At least I hope you guys scored at least above 70. Okay, but maximum of you are not scoring good score in your midterm. What
ma'am,
Abhijit?
yes, ma'am. Ma'am, from the Monday, our lab exam will be held by the next week. So if the series of tests would be after that lab exams, then it will.
No.
Okay.
Your end term exam is of 50 marks, right? Before that, I have to complete your 40 marks test.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Okay. Okay, fine. Study well. Bye.
When will our marks will reveal?